Hi there. Happy Monday. How is everybody? I'm doing great. It's a great day. It's a great and beautiful day. Yes, it is. It's sunny and warm, and I think it's going to, oh, it's already 74 degrees. I started to say I think it's going to be 70, but that thing that's sitting right there looking at me, I don't know what it's called. It's one of them Google things. They're pretty cool. I guess it's kind of like an Alexa, but it's not. And I forgot how to make it talk. I think I just say, hey, Google. That was it. So I was watching Hanging with Pawpaw this morning, and he mentioned, like, way back in the day, renting a pasture. And that took me back to many, many years ago. My uncle had pasture land, and he would rent it to people, you know, for them to house their horses, ponies, cows, things like that. I think I was about 10-ish. So my uncle lived up on the hill, and then my cousin, and then my mama and papa, and then my other cousin, right? So we were all right there together. So when we went to visit mama and papa, the pasture was behind their house as well. And this cute little pony came up to the fence. And Star, my cousin's daughter, she's actually closer to my age than my cousin is, she came outside and, you know, we were playing as kids do. And we went over to the fence to visit with this beautiful little Shetland pony. This is not actually the pony. I'm just inserting a picture so that you can see what a Shetland pony is supposed to look like. If you know anything about Shetland ponies, you know they have very long manes that are supposed to stay that way. Well, in my 10-year-old brain, I thought it would be a great idea to trim its mane, specifically this, because it could not see, and I felt sorry for it. So I went prancing into Mama and Popo's house and grabbed the scissors. No one saw me, no one questioned me, and I marched right back out to that fence, and I cut that Shetland pony's hair. And to quote my mother, it looked like idiot bangs. That's what she called bangs when they were real short. If she ever went to get her hair cut and they cut her bangs too short, she would say, well, I have idiot bangs. This horse, this pony, this Shetland pony that did not belong to my cousin, to my uncle or my cousin, had idiot bangs. I rounded it even. It was like a bowl cut, really. He was livid. Who cut the pony's hair? And I was like, what? You mean it's not supposed to be cut? What? I thought I was doing it a favor. Anyway, he was so mad. Oh, he was so mad. But anyway, that thought led me to another thought. You know, it all starts and it goes downhill. It just rolls downhill. Well, then I started thinking about my Uncle Junior, and I've told some of these stories before, but to be honest, they're probably deep in the archives. But I started thinking about Uncle Junior, and I thought about the time that he did surgery on a pig. Now, it was his pig. It wasn't any pig that people were paying to stay in his pasture. It was actually his pig. But he said that the pig got sick, and they didn't have money to take it to a vet. You didn't do stuff back then. It was, eliminate the pig or fix the pig. And he wanted to fix the pig. So he got some moonshine, some mash, some hooch, and he fed it to the pig. You know, pigs will eat just about anything. He fed it to the pig, and the pig went to sleep. And when the pig went to sleep, he poured some of that moonshine on its belly to disinfect. And he cut that belly open, and he felt all along them intestines, and he found a sweet gum ball. I don't know what else they're called, but they're about that big around, but they're just all spiky, and it was jammed up in the pig's intestines. So he cut a section of the pig's intestines out and used a little moonshine to, disinfect and the needle and thread and do all the things. And he sewed the intestines back up, and then he sewed the pig back up, and he just let it lay there and sober up. And the pig was fine and went on to live a happy pig life. I was like, you did surgery on your own pig? And he was like, well, yeah. He was real country. Well, yeah, who else was gonna do it? Okay, valid point, I guess. I just thought it was so funny. And then the moonshine thought led me back to the jail. So when I worked there, especially the first time I worked there, so I worked there, and then I went on and traveled around warrant division and court security and admin and all the things, and then I went back to the jail to serve my final sentence in the jail for very long years. But anyway, the first time I was in jail, they had to be real careful with giving inmates fruit, fresh fruit and such, because inmates will take that fruit and ferment it and make mash or hooch, moonshine. There's lots of names for it. But the Gideons came in one year at Christmas, and they brought Bibles, of course, because that's what the Gideons do. And they brought fruit. Lots and lots and lots of fruit for the inmates. Well, there was a party, let me tell you, because those inmates took that fruit and some of them used a mop bucket. Can you imagine a nasty, they had those giant yellow mop buckets on wheels that they would push in there with the mop in it so they could clean up the floors and their cells and all that stuff. Well, they used that, and they took the skin off the fruit and they put it in that mop bucket, and they added sugar, and they added, I believe it was ketchup packets because it has vinegar in it, and all that helps the fermentation process, and covered it up. And anyway, they made them some hooch out of all that fruit. Good times were had by all. Yeah. Can you imagine being so desperate for liquor that you would drink it out of a dirty mop bucket? I'm sure they rinsed it, but it's not like they had good stuff to rinse it with. And then all those mop buckets always smelled sour because they'd leave the water in there too long and leave the mop in the water. And, it was soured. It's just plain old soured. And then they'd mop the floor with it, and then the whole room would smell soured. It was terrible. But they used that same mop bucket to make some hooch. I don't know how long it takes exactly, a few weeks, I think. But then they'd strain it through probably a shirt or something to get the little bits out. Yeah, then they'd all drink. And then my last drinking story, years ago, there was a pharmacy. There's a car in front of my house, and I'm trying to figure out what it's doing. There was a pharmacy that we often went to, that friends of my parents owned it. They would be my friends too, right? But I was just much younger when we first started going there, like at birth. I think I was the first prescription they ever filled. As a matter of fact, they opened the year I was born, and if I'm not mistaken, the pharmacist's wife is a friend of mine, and she said mine was the first prescription ever filled. Isn't that cool? Well, anyway, then they moved to a new location. Long story short, I had to stop in there one evening. I think I was on the way home from work, and a homeless guy is walking in front of me, and a homeless guy is walking out. And they pass each other like two ships in the night. And this homeless person walking in says to this homeless person walking out, "Oh, you're preparing for the dentist, I see." And I was like, well, what? Because homeless people don't usually go to the dentist. Not unless it's offered. Like at my church, they have some sort of vehicle that comes around to help with medical needs, but especially back then. And then I looked in the homeless person's bag, and he had the biggest bottle of Listerine I've ever seen. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, good. Listerine, the brown bottle Listerine. I mean, it burns your mouth just holding it in your mouth to swish. It like peels the inside of my cheeks. And they were drinking it because it has alcohol in it. I don't know if it still does. I think it does. But anyway, yeah, they were buying Listerine to drink. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine ever being so desperate for alcohol that I would drink Listerine or drink mash from a mop bucket. Ugh. Anyway, that was my thoughts for this morning. One little thing that Pawpaw said brought that whole thing to mind. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy how my mind works? Well, anyway, I did a little video last night to show you, I'm all caught up with my work, to show you how I kind of moved the living room around. And now I'm going to show you my new bedding I got. Hold on. Okay, so in the other bedroom, the bedspread never fit on that bed right. And so I was looking for a new bedspread for it. It's the spare bed. And then I thought, well, why don't you just move what I had in here, which was just a gray, in there, and then buy me something new for in here. So I had bought this rug. I don't remember where. But I thought that color was black, but it's blue. So I wanted a blue bedspread to match the blue rug. I think I'm going to get a new one of these eventually, just maybe to match. I don't know. But I love this one because it's a extra large throw. Oh my gosh, it's so warm. Anyway, I got this from Wayfair. It's a queen and it came with the 2 pillowcases. But y'all, this is the absolute softest bedspread ever. And I love that it hangs long. I got a queen because I got a queen size bed. And I love that it hangs long. So anyway, that's what I got. And I want to say the whole set was less than $40 if I remember right. So if you're interested in that link, although when I looked for it the other day on Wayfair, they only had like a really bright turquoise left. But it's so soft. All right. So I moved that back over here by the couch. And it's got my drawing stuff in it and stuff like that. It's bigger than the table that I had there before. That was bought for me by my boss because it looked like Charlie. I put Charlie back on the chair. I brought that in so Joan could sit in the seat because that's Penny's car seat. Apparently it is now Gracie's. And then I decorated the top of that with, it was on that little table that was sitting there. I think all that looks very pretty. And now I have to go give Penelope a bath. Somebody's getting a bath because when we went for our afternoon walk, I saw her, you know, how she does the thing on the driveway where she pushes her face into the road and all that stuff on the driveway. You know what I'm talking about. Well, she was doing it up at where we were walking. I didn't think much about it. I didn't see anything. So I was like, okay, well, she just jumped on the couch and we had some little lovey-lovey time where I was giving her some scratches and some kisses and I smelled something horrible. So I said, well, sorry, Chica, you got to get a bath because I don't know what you rolled in. But that's not getting in my bed tonight, sister. She just stands here like a good girl, don't she? No, ma'am. You smell so pretty. I know, you just worked so hard to get your stink back, didn't you? Okay, you're gonna have to back up, though. Because I don't want the water to go outside the sink. Honey, you gotta back up again. You can't stand right on the edge. I can't really rinse you when you're standing with your head hanging over, okay? Look at that sweet little thing. heavens. Oh, I'm soaked. Oh, I'm soaked. Just a little bit of conditioner. Or as we used to call it, cream rinse. Did y'all call it cream rinse? I don't put it all over, just mainly here. You're almost done, baby. Now you can sleep in the bed with mommy and not stink up the whole bed. And then we squeeze all that off. Oh my goodness. Now we have a nice clean puppy and a very wet mommy. All right, and we've been drying, and she's been trying to escape. But y'all gotta look how cute she is. Look at the camera. Can you look at the camera? Say, I'm freezing to death. And say, I'm ready to get down and take off running. She's hard to dry, man. Charlie's hair being so thin, I could dry him very quickly. Okay. Hold on.
See, that movement right there is what got you in this predicament in the first place. Yeah, you did that in the wrong place. And you come home smelling up the place. Get there. You want a treat? Do you want a treat? Are you cold? Huh? Are you cold? Why does Mama ask everything twice? And you never answer even though I asked twice. That's crazy, isn't it? So you can stop asking me at any time because I'm not answering. No way.
Say bye, peoples. Well, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember that I love you and Jesus loves you, and I hope he's coming back soon. Hit that like button and pray for Israel. And I'll talk to you on the next Tracy Tries. Poop!